companies. So let's welcome Dr. Eric Warren from Novant Health.
Well, I'm excited to be here this morning, and I would echo what was just said about soaking all this in. This is a great opportunity to hear from some amazing college athletes today, from a number of industry experts this morning. You know, you get to miss class, so that's a great thing as well. But take this time to soak it in, because these opportunities don't come very often. So I'm going to talk to you for just a few minutes about ultrasound and the use in sports, because that's a growing thing. And we'll go ahead and get started, because I know we got a quick morning here. So this is an emerging technology in the U.S. It's been around in Europe for a while, and it's just kind of gained traction in the States, and it may be because we rely a lot on MRIs. I know you can't go through a Sunday telecast at any sporting event without hearing about somebody getting an MRI. Well, the great thing about ultrasound is in many cases it shows us exactly what an MRI shows us. And so this is what it looks like in the office setting. We can do it real time right there in the office, and if we have a chance this morning, we'll give a quick demonstration on that. But this is myself and my nurse. They've got a big screen monitor there we can look at. That's the unit. And right then and there, you can see what's going on. We can look at wrists, elbows, knees, shoulders, whatever it may be, and show things that traditionally you can only see on an MRI. So like I just talked about, muscles, tendons, ligaments, nerves, cartilage, all that stuff's right there. The amazing thing about the ultrasound, there's several things. One is that it's really cheap. So it's like a tenth of the cost of an MRI. So you might pay $1,000 or $2,000 for an MRI. This usually costs around $100 to $150, and it shows a lot of the same structures, and it's right then and there. You can look at it in the office. There's no radiation exposure. You got a built-in comparison. If I don't know that your shoulder is the way you were born with on one side, I can quickly look at the other and know right then and there how it is. It's safe. It's a great thing to do. So what does the science say about it? Just because of our time, we'll be real brief, but there's been hundreds of studies that show it's got the same basic accuracy as an MRI. It results in painless injections and improved quality of care. So the studies behind it are really good. So I'm going to go through a couple examples up here before we got time to do the demonstration. So this is a rotator cuff. I'm sure you guys have heard of rotator cuffs before. Pitchers might injure them. Quarterbacks, any overhead type motion, you can injure rotator cuff. Kobe Bryant injured rotator cuff. We don't see that on x-rays. You normally have to get an MRI. So you get an ultrasound, then you can take a look. So this is the rotator cuff, this whole bit of muscle on the outside of your shoulder, kind of right underneath your deltoid, right there on the outside of the shoulder. And this is putting the probe on and taking a look. And the number one injured rotator cuff muscle is the supraspinatus. And I think on the little diagram, yeah, it's got a little tear right there. That little rip right there, okay? That's the number one injured muscle. It's what Kobe, it's what other folks have injured. Well, this is that muscle coming across right there. This is the bone of the humerus. That's the muscle coming across right there, right on top. And you can see that. You can't see that on x-ray. So here's what it looks like if it's torn. This is an athlete we saw recently. So this is normal muscle. It's all solid. It looks great. And you see that big rip right through there. We'll show on the other side. Normal muscle right there in the office. I can tell this guy, hey, listen, there's no sense in doing PT. There's no sense in doing cortisone shots. You've torn this. It's torn. We've got to do something now to fix that. Unfortunately, that's surgery to fix that. Another example that we have here is a biceps tendon. So, you know, biceps here, you know, sun's out, guns out. That's what we got to get going with the biceps. People sometimes get tendonitis, and you don't know if it's just tendonitis, if it's just inflammation, and you can ice it and maybe take some Aleve, or if you've actually torn something. Maybe you got your arm caught out trying to tackle somebody and just pulled on it a little bit. We can take a look there. So this is a normal bicep sitting at the very top here. It sits in this little groove in the humerus, the bone there. And this is it with a bunch of fluid around it, and there's a little tiny tear right off to the side. You can see that. So normal bicep sitting up here, and then you see all this fluid around it down here, an injured one with a little tiny tear. And that guy's got a whole different prognosis. If we put that person in 4 weeks or 6 weeks of PT, at the end, we might be at the same spot we were to start with. So it's good to know that going in, and it's good for the physical therapist to know that as well. Knees. I mean, knees get hurt, right? When you play football, people hit you from the outside. Play any sport, women's soccer, volleyball, plant, cut, knees give way. I've had 8 knee surgeries from football. They get hurt. So sometimes we don't know what's hurt. Is it just bruised? Or did you tear the cartilage? Or did you tear your MCL? So if you look here, this is the meniscus cartilage. So we're looking at the side of the knee right there. And you can see this little triangle. It looks like a little piece of pizza. And that's normal, but right here, there's a rip right through it. And unfortunately, those things don't get well very easy. So that's a normal cartilage going into the joint, the meniscus, right on here on the outside there. And then that's a rip right through there. And you know, that's somebody that's going to have surgery. A brace is not going to help that. You can play through it, but it hurts and it's going to feel unstable and it's probably going to make it worse. It doesn't tend to heal itself very well. This is an athlete we saw earlier this season. Slot receiver, star, punt returner, kickoff returner for one of the teams I cover. We thought he had a bad Charlie horse in his thigh. We thought that's what we were dealing with. Well, I see him in the office after the game, and we take a look at his thigh here. So this is normal tendon and quad muscle coming down to attach to the kneecap, all right? We're seeing what's right under the probe. That's what you always see, is what's right under the probe right there. So normal tendon, little kneecap. He had just torn almost all the way through part of his quad muscle. I mean, a huge defect right there, a big defect. What did I do with that? I sent that to Alan's group over at Architect and said, I need help with this guy. I mean, this guy is not just an ice, give it time, kind of guy. This guy needs help rehabbing that. And we got him where he could come back about 90%. They tried to turn him in because they were making a playoff run, and he re-hurt it a little bit. Sometimes that's sports, that's what happened, but at least we knew what we were dealing with, and that's what this